Today's date is the 29th of November. It is a Tuesday and it is 2016, and this is the last of the collections of videos that I've been putting together as memories for you. I don't really know what to call this last selection. I suppose it would be cheeky to call it miscellaneous, but there are some important stuff in there, so I'm not going to call it anything, but it is the last one. And some of these, they're quite quick stories to tell, but they're important to me nonetheless. I'm going to kick off with, I'm trying to think when this would have been. I'm guessing this would have been December 2013. I think this would have been, yeah, gotcha. December 2013. I had a few days off, and yeah, your mum and I went to a place called Bluestone National Park in Wales, and it was quite lovely there actually. They had like log cabins and they were quite big, and you and I had our room, so we had our single beds in there and we slept next to each other, and that was lovely because I think that was the first time you and I slept side by side with each other in the same room, and your mum had the double bed in the next room, so that was quite nice. And it was like they were doing this sort of thing there, like Kingdom of the Elves. I've got loads of photos of this, so hopefully you'll see photos of this either on YouTube or in some area somewhere that I've posted, I don't know. But it was like Kingdom of the Elves, and I don't think you were feeling particularly well at the time, and I think you were probably feeling a bit shy, but you did slowly warm up. But there is actually a photo of us two at the national park where we were on the sofa watching telly together, probably watching cartoons, and the photo actually says, the photo doesn't tell you anything, but in the photo, prior to leading up to the photo that your mother took, you actually said, "Daddy, can I lean on you?" I said, "Of course you can, Dan." So we just cuddled up on the sofa together, and it was really nice. The photos aren't the best that have been taken, but I like the story behind them. But that's not what I've come to talk about on this particular thing, because while we were at Bluestone, there were quite a lot of restaurants around the complex, and we went to some, I think it was like a pub or whatever that was serving food, and in the restaurant there was a little play area for children, and you sort of like, you know, just sort of walked over to that area where there were other kids that you didn't know, and all I kept thinking is, oh, I really hope she gets somewhere with these kids, and I really hope they accept her, because, you know, when I was younger I was quite a shy child, and I found it very difficult to mix, as I still do now. But all I kept thinking about was, oh, I really, really hope they accept her. You know, I wanted you to be more outgoing than I ever was. So that was sort of playing on my mind, and you got on quite well with them actually. I do remember, it's quite good. The next story is not really a story, but it's like something you said. I remember, like, you know, when I used to come down as often as I could, you know, and we're getting back into this sort of daddies on the train sort of stuff. You was aware that I didn't live locally, I lived quite far away, and used to get sort of like quite upset sometimes when I used to go home. And I remember one time you said, "Daddy, I don't love you, I just miss you." And I remember being completely speechless, thinking, I don't actually know what that means. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. Is that better or worse? No different. What does it mean? I just completely confused me. So yeah, strange. Another time was, I think you was watching cartoons, I think, on your mum's sofa, and I was on the sofa as well, and I think I just put my arms around you and I just kissed you on the head. I used to do that quite a lot. And on one occasion you said, "Daddy, why do you keep kissing me?" And I thought, okay, don't know how to answer that, so I didn't say anything. And I kept on wondering, I think for quite some time I kept on wondering, like, you know, was there something wrong with what I was doing? I don't know. But there was a girl at work called Alicia. She was doing some shopping in the shop on a day off, and she put her own child in the shopping trolley, and she was just pushing her around, and as she was going round, she was kissing her. And I thought, yep, okay, that's good enough for me. I don't care what Arianna said. I know I was doing the right thing, so that's an end of it as far as I'm concerned. What else do I talk about? Done that one. I've got 2 more stories to talk to you about. And it's hard to know which one to put in first because they're both connected in a weird way. Well, they're connected in the way in which I'm going to talk to you about them. But in 2014, you and your mother, you came to stay with us for a few days. We did a number of things. We went to Burley in the New Forest. There's photos of you looking at deer and loads of other photos. We went to Marwell Zoo. We went to Paultons Park / Peppa Pig World. And we also went to Canoe Lake to see my colleague Michelle from work and her daughter Lily Sue. But on one particular day during that time, I can't remember when it was, going back to like when I used to stay at your house, I used to get sometimes quite upset about the fact that I was going home. Like there were many times when I think you'd fallen asleep on your sofa, and of course I had to go home, so I'd actually go up to you and kiss you goodbye, and then you sort of cry. And there were other times I'd heard whereby I think you'd fallen asleep and I didn't want to wake you, so I went home, and then I found out that you'd woken up while I was awake and you were crying your eyes out, didn't know where your daddy was. And I thought, oh, that's quite sweet. But I had no idea just how distressed you were about me not being around. But then one particular day, during the time you came to stay here for a few days, I'd just pop round the corner to get a sort of a takeaway. And my mum's exact words were, you screamed the place down. You didn't know where I was and you were missing me. And then, of course, I returned home not long afterwards with a takeaway, and you were crying your eyes out. And I thought, my God, I didn't know how bad it was. And I think this is one of the reasons why I get so upset. I mean, there's many reasons I get upset about not seeing you, but one of the reasons I do get upset was the fact that I feel that I've been really prized out of your life. And what is really upsetting is the fact that knowing how distressed you were when I would go home, and Mum would have seen that you were crying your eyes out because I'd gone home, and she's, my eyes, she's sort of engineered a situation where I can no longer be in it. I mean, why have you done this? You know how much Arianna means to me, and you know how much I mean to her. Why have you done this? I don't understand why you've done this. But it's probably why I can't forgive her, really. Because you're no longer in my life, and she's always going to make my life more difficult, so, it is what it is, I suppose. But the last story was the very last time that I saw you. And I had all these sort of weird plans. I was getting a bit wound up, really, about the fact that, because the last 3 times I came to see you, I decided that I wanted to integrate my friends into your life and vice versa. And what I mean is, your mum knew Ben because she met him several times when we were going out together, but she never knew Martina because I only knew Martina from 2011/2012. And your mum and I were only going out in 2010, so when your mum moved back to Wales, I had never met Martina myself, so your mother hadn't either. So I kind of thought that it is important that I can't lead this secret life, that I thought it was important that it's about time you met my friends. You've only met my work colleague and some of my family, and that's it. That's not good enough, that's not right. So I thought it's important you need to know more about me. So the first time I came up with it with Ben, the second time I came up there with Martina, and the third and last time I came up on my own. And it was getting me getting a bit wound up, really. I'm thinking, this is not working, going to coconut soft play, because soft play is all about kids wearing themselves at a soft play so the parents can get a bit of peace and quiet. Although how you can get your peace and quiet at soft play, God only knows. But you know, I was kind of thinking I wanted to vary this up. I wanted to take you to other places. So I thought your mum's not going to allow me to sort of like have you on my own, so we'll go somewhere else and she can come along. That was my attitude. So it probably looked like I was disinterested, but I was actually on my phone quite a bit trying to research other places to go. And then it occurred to me, I'm thinking, you haven't seen my mum, your other nan, for many months. So I just decided to phone up my mum and get her to talk to you on the phone. And the thing is, you didn't know your other nan that well, because obviously you didn't come down to visit and she was too poorly to travel. So it was quite touching really that you spoke on the phone to her, and then when you said goodbye you said, love you, bye nanny, love you. And you know, you didn't really love my nan, sorry, you didn't really love my mum because you didn't really know her that well, but I just thought it was so sweet that you said that. But it's quite sad that that is the last time that you had anything to do with her. Obviously not your fault, but you know, last time you saw apart from the 7-second Christmas message that I got on Christmas Day, it's the last time I saw you. But yeah, it's quite sad. I was setting out to all ended. But I hope you enjoyed all these memories. I think there's about 15 over 3 videos. And if I think of anything else that I want to upload, I will do. Oh well, goodbye.